Thank you, Johnny. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a rain-soaked, foggy Ewood Park in Lancashire. And when you open the discussion on FA Cup upsets, it isn't long before you get to the name Wrexham. Their third round win at the Racecourse Ground in January 1992 over Arsenal is considered one of the biggest. They have history, and with the chance to welcome Premier League and recent Champions League opposition in Newcastle in the next round, this game has become even bigger. Blackburn, beware. 18th in the Championship, 7 defeats at home already. Their promising start to the campaign has melted away, and their only win in their last 8 games came against Cambridge of League One. So, are Blackburn fans pleased to see the arrival of Wrexham, its Hollywood owners and its entourage of 7,000 fans that have overtaken Ewood Park's Darwin end away to our right-hand side? I mean, no matter what you think about whether or not there's problems getting into the ground, the Wrexham fans certainly haven't had them. I think there's a bit of trepidation in the air amongst the Blackburn support. It could be that they are the second biggest upset of the weekend so far. Here's the team news, starting with Blackburn. Ainsley Pears is the goalkeeper. He's son of the former Middlesbrough goalkeeper Stephen Pears. It's his 11th appearance of the season. Rankin, Costello, Hyam, Wharton and Garrett are the back four. Tronstadt and Moran, the two in midfield. Smodics, Sigurdsson and Dolan behind Gallagher in attack. Wrexham in red shirts, white shorts and white socks attacking the Blackburn end in the first half. Away to our left-hand side have Okonkwo in goal. Cleworth, O'Connell and Tozer as the back four, Barnett and McLean as the wing backs, Evans and Cannon and Elliott Lee in midfield, with Mullin and Dalby up front. Well, I must admit they played great music at Blackburn Rovers, but the PA ain't half loud.
Bit of old age kicking in there, Sam.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Only 10 teams are certain of their FA Cup future, and they will be at least 2 lower league sides that reach the quarter-finals. Can it be Blackburn or Wrexham? We might get more of an indication tonight. Blackburn in those blue and white half jerseys, white socks and blue socks and white shorts, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side, and they have the ball deep inside their own half, and immediately Wharton will chip it down the left-hand side. It does look actually as if they're going to play with a back three tonight, with Sigurdsson playing out on the left-hand side and Tyrese Dolan out on this right side, which means a very aggressive looking Blackburn formation. Wharton goes out to meet the ball over on the far touchline before Hyam just withdraws into a more central position. The ball runs out of play deep inside Blackburn territory, and it's out for a throw-in. Here's Mickey Gray.
Well, it's interesting, Sam. I mean, you just mentioned there about the back three, and you're completely right. Rankin Costello coming back into the starting 11. He's been out on a long layoff as well. He's a big, physical, strong guy, but I've not really seen him play too much as a centre-half. He's normally a right wing-back. He's got great energy. So it'll be interesting to see how he beds into that back three, if you like. But as I mentioned before, you're going to see a lot of possession from Blackburn. They always play this way, and they always try and get themselves on the front foot early on in a game.
He did play as a member of the back three in the game against Huddersfield not so long ago. 0-0 the score. We played a minute and a half live on TalkSport. The ball picked up in the left side of the Wrexham half, taken by Wharton, whose younger brother Adam has been the subject of so much transfer interest. The ball played out towards Dolan on this near side before Garrett picks it up in the middle of the park. He plays it infield and it's sent back onto Dolan on the right side before it's collected eventually by Moran, who tries to lay it off into Dolan once again. Good possession. The ball flipped into the box by Smodic, headed away, and then it lands on the edge of the D, where it's collected by Sigurdsson, who went to hit it, and his effort was blocked by Cannon, and then cleared upfield immediately for Mullin to try and chase. Pears comes out, gets there just ahead of Mullin, who was chasing down towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and then it will be cleared away by the goalkeeper. 0-0.
Well, Sam, that long ball that Wrexham have just played to try and get Paul Mullin in behind these 3 centre-halves of Blackburn Rovers is something that you're going to see a lot tonight. He never stops. He helps out his other centre-forward. He's got Sam Dalby alongside him today, who's the big, strong, physical guy. Look for the flick-ons from him and he gets his goals. There's no question of that. Didn't have the best of starts to this season, Paul Mullin. He's out for a long time, but he's certainly hit the ground running now.
Dolan skips past 2 challenges, feeds the ball into Gallagher, who turns it into Smodics, who sends it wide from 7 yards out. It's a great opportunity and a really good incisive bit of play from Blackburn Rovers, who got down that right-hand side with a triangle of Smodics, Gallagher and Dolan, and when the ball was reversed by Gallagher into the centre, Smodics hit it right-footed but wide of the goal, and that's unlike him.
Well, the tempo's fantastic to the game. Early stages, Paris Dolan, we know on this right-hand side, he loves to get forward. Very clever, I have to say, from Sam Gallagher to pick out Sammy Smodics. You know he's going to make those runs. And the season he's having so far, we're just waiting for the net to bustle.
And John Dole Thomason has been talking enthusiastically about the value of the cup for Blackburn Rovers, but it's clear his priority will be to steer the team clear of any sort of relegation trouble. Well, they won't want an upset tonight, and everyone talks about the Arsenal upset that Wrexham inflicted on them 32 years ago now. But there have been other flirtations with the FA Cup, including 3 runs to the quarter-finals as a lower league team. And they beat Coventry last year, forced a replay against Sheffield United as well, and were heartbroken in that game. Ball played forward by Moran, and then Smodics has chased, and then Okonkwo has come too close. It's going to land inside the 6-yard box, and the goalkeeper's well out of his penalty area, and it's cleared away by Tozer, who was retreating as the third member of that centre-half battalion. But Smodics was setting the ball goalwards past Okonkwo, who was a little bit too assertive. Again, they come down the right-hand side. Ball picked up by Dolan. The run is made by Moran. It's too heavy, goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right. Here's Mickey Gray, the former Blackburn Rovers fullback.
Well, wasn't it Ipswich Town the other night who started the game exactly the same as this, but just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net? Blackburn Rovers have actually started superbly in the game, I have to say, and Sammy Smodics has taken up that little pocket just in between the midfield and the defence, and he can't pick him up. He's so clever. I mean, Okonkwo is a very fortunate goalkeeper, I have to say, because Smodics has done everything right. He's lifted over his head, he's rolling or bouncing towards that goal. Good defending in the end from Ben Tozer. But the more space you give Smodics, the more opportunities he's going to get. And as we saw in the last round, he certainly knows where the back of the net is.
Well, it's very much 5-3-2 from Wrexham at the start of this game, and they're on the back foot again, and they almost got themselves in trouble when their goalkeeper on loan from Arsenal, Arthur Okonkwo, came steaming out into the left full-back position and almost got done by Sammy Smodic. It's 0-0. Blackburn on the offensive again. 6 minutes played on Talk Sport 2. Ball back towards the wide right-hand side. It's collected now on this near side by Garrett. He tried to just thrust the ball into midfield and Tronsat, but it was poked away off the Norwegian and out for a throw-in down in front of us. We're high in the Jack Walker stand here, the main stand, just 4 rows from the back, overlooking the halfway line. We can see Phil Parkinson and John Dole Thomason on the edge of their technical areas. The 4th official is down there as well. Our referee tonight, Andy Madley. Ross Joyce is taking 4th official duties for us this evening. Ball played infield towards the edge of the penalty area, where it's played across to Rankin Costello. Gets it up over the halfway line, finds Tyrese Dolan. Rankin Costello into the middle of the park, picked up and played forward by Garrett. Tyrese Dolan's got it again, travelling towards the edge of the Wrexham penalty area. Wide on the right-hand side, he's joined by Moran. Moran plays the ball back into Garrett. Garrett looks up, and it was a little bit short for Smodic that, and it was cleared away by Owen O'Connell, who steps in and plays it out towards this near side. And all of a sudden, Wrexham try and get up the field. Dolby holds onto it, does well, but can't get past Rankin Costello, and Blackburn receive possession again.
He had the pass on Dolby there. You can see the run of Paul Mullen. He actually had a look up and he was going to play it and ran back into traffic. Well, you can't do that, certainly in the early stages of a game against Blackburn Rovers, because they're in your face. You get a chance to play that ball in behind, use that pace of Mullen, stretch the pitch. That's where you'll cause the home side problems.
Moran, Dolan's got on a run down in towards the right wing position. He's trying to take him on O'Connell, and Tozer comes across and gets out towards the near touchline, puts it behind the way for a corner, the first corner of the game, and it goes to Blackburn Rovers. It's Blackburn Rovers 0, Wrexham 0, live on TalkSport 2 tonight, the final game of the 5th round of the FA Cup. And I mentioned it earlier, you know, 2 lower league sides will reach the quarter-finals this year. Maybe it will be one of these 2. Sigurdsson to take the corner in towards the near post, headed away, comes back to Smodic's right angle of the penalty area right side, and then it's played into the centre.
and chipped towards the far post, headed back across the face of goal. Out comes Okonkwo, and he's missed it, and Gallagher is penalised for a foul. Interesting.
Yeah, they've been under a bit of scrutiny, Sam, haven't they, goalkeepers, over the last 2 or 3 weeks? If you think about the decisions of maybe goals being given, goals may not have been given, well, that's down to VAR, I suppose, which we haven't got tonight. But that ball is a ball that you probably see in the game quite a lot from Blackburn, that diagonal from right to left.
Mullin tried to slip the ball into Dolby in the inside right channel after a long clearance upfield by Wrexham. Goes into the arms of the goalkeeper pairs, and Blackburn are able to clear. I did mention that I thought I saw Parkinson inside the technical area. Well, he's serving a touchline ban tonight after accumulation of yellow cards. So it's Steve Parkin who is in the dugout for Wrexham tonight. I think Phil Parkinson's just a little bit further down this main stand. I did actually think that he'd just lost a little bit more hair. We're quite a way up the back here. Here is Smodic picking the ball up after a loose ball out by Wrexham. Gallagher inside the penalty area trying to turn. Does well, gets the shot away. Blocked brilliantly. Really good defending actually by O'Connell, on the ball flicked out towards the near side. He kept with him very closely. Back to Moran. A low ball into the box, and stretching for it was Garrett, but he couldn't get hold of it. And it comes off his left boot and spirals behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wrexham 0. You're listening to TalkSport 2.
Well, I said it was a lively start, and it's not let up. I think both sides are certainly going for it. The best opportunity just coming for Wrexham then. It was Paul Mullen playing the ball through to Sam Dalby. Sure, Phil Parkinson would have hoped that it was the other way around, where it was Dalby playing the ball through for Paul Mullen. I think they've got to try and work that out the more that this game continues, because Mullen's the one with the pace. He's the one who's going to cause the threat to these three centre-halves of Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah, Sam Dalby, since the start of last season, has been involved in more goals than anyone else in the FA Cup proper. 10 in total, 4 goals and 6 assists.
It's not a bad return, that, Sam, isn't it? And you can see why. He's one of those strikers who's a nuisance to play against, a big physical presence, 6'4", 6'5". When that ball's put into the box, you just wouldn't want to be up against him.
Ball played infield where it's collected by Garrett. It's got space on the left-hand side for Smodic, who's dropped deep. He plays it further wide. Sigurdsson takes it on now. Just a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Back to Smodic. And then it's back into the path of Tronstadt, who's trying to keep things moving in front of the Wrexham defence. A tightly packed Wrexham defence that have retreated to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's played infield and then collected now by Moran, who's looking to work it wide. Dolan's stuck to this right wing position. The Blackburn player tries to go on the outside of the defender, and it was well dealt with and brilliantly executed by McLean. He sends it long up to Mullin, who's isolated the defender, tries to go inside. It's excellent defending by the Blackburn back line and cleared away. It was Hyam who stepped across and nudged it out towards this near side, and Mullin was thwarted by the tall, slender figure of Dominic Hyam, the Scottish international, caught up for the first time for the Scotland squad around about this time last year. It's the flicker of a chance, and if Wrexham are going to get any joy, it's going to be like that, isn't it?
No, absolutely, Sam. Yeah, James McLean, we know he's got a lot of experience, and he's done the right thing, hasn't he? I talked about playing that ball in behind. Exactly what he's done. He's won the ball from Dolan, played his super ball to Paul Mullen. When he's in that 1v1 situation, you back him all the time, but brilliant defender from Dominic Hyam.
Tronstadt wide to the left, and Sigurdsson. Back it goes to Garrett, who finds Smodic. Smodic flings the ball out, chips it nicely out to Moran on this near touchline. He wanders up towards the Wrexham penalty area, then pokes it back again, and then Garrett will strike from distance, and it's easily saved by Okonkwo, who is in bright steward-coloured yellow tonight. He's got bright orange gloves on as well, just to make sure that he's definitely seen.
Well, he's been in the right place on a couple of occasions, Sam, hasn't he? I think the only mistake he made was when Smodic tried to loop the ball over the top of him. He came off his line a little bit too early, but a couple of chances there for Jake Garrett.
Given the ball away rather cheaply, and it's back out into midfield, and Moran trying to make something happen. The ball run loose again, and then Sigurdsson takes it on for Blackburn. Wrexham struggling to get it clear. Moran's effort might well come to Smodic. It does. It comes off the defender and goes in, but the offside flag was up quite a while ago, and that's why there's only a half-hearted celebration from some of the Blackburn fans at the other end of the ground. Still 0-0, 13 minutes gone. Most of the football being played inside Wrexham territory at this moment in time.
Oh, well, I tell you what, Sam, I'm seeing a replay of it now. Look, initially when the ball's played, I do think he's just offside, Sammy Szmodics, but it's like all the Wrexham defenders just stopped. He eventually sticks the ball in the back of the net, and that is the opportunity that Szmodics will just pounce on. You give him half a yard, he's got eyes for goal.
Got a hat-trick in the last round, didn't he? Against Cambridge. In great form, 5 goals in his last 4 games. He signed a new contract in November, but there's still 1 or 2 circling, looking at his performances and thinking they might well need his goal power towards the end of the season. It might be someone further up the championship table than Blackburn, who are currently looking over their shoulder at the relegation place. He's 18th at the moment in that division. 0-0, we've played 13 and a half minutes, and John Dole Thomason's got extra motivation to want to get through this particular round. He spent an underwhelming season at Newcastle United in the 90s, and that's who they'll play if they win here tonight. He was unfortunate, I think, because Les Ferdinand was sold just before the start of the season. Alan Shearer, who he was bought in to be a foil for, was injured, so he ended up being the point man, the lone striker, and it didn't really work for him. Here's Mullin, the ball goes over the top to him, he gets to the edge of the penalty area, only Dolby in support. McLean comes up and joins him on the left hand side, tucks it back into midfield. Elliot Lee looks up, strokes it to his right, and Wrexham playing football for the first time really inside Blackburn territory. 14 minutes gone, 0-0. Back to Tozer, who's making his 600th career appearance tonight. Ben Tozer. Out wide it goes towards the far side of the pitch, and as they look to try and progress with Barnett, it clips off Sigurdsson and goes out for a Wrexham throw halfway inside Blackburn territory.
I don't think these Wrexham supporters are going to get bored tonight, Sam, are they? I think they're absolutely loving their occasion at Ewood Park, aren't they? Look, they've not started the game off brilliantly, but the 2 occasions where they do look a threat is when Paul Mullin gets in behind, gets on his bike, because he's got the pace and he's got the beating. Just needs to find himself in a better position.
They get a bit of stick, Wrexham, I think born out of a bit of jealousy because of the investment and the profile of their owners. I know that some were cynical about the number of fans that they brought tonight. 7,000 of them have come up here. But look, they were taking 5,000 to Stoke when they were really bad. It's not wholly a new thing. They're a club with a great support, and you can hear that tonight. Ball sent long down the Wrexham right. It's collected well by Dolby, who's followed out to the far side by Hyam, who intervenes well. It goes out of play, but it has gone out for a throw-in, and Ben Tozer has a bit of a torpedo, and he's going to catapult one into a crowded penalty area now.
Yeah, I don't think it'll matter how far back they are, Sam. He just fires it into that 18-yard box with this long throw. And as I mentioned before, Sam Dolby's probably a player that he'll try and pick out if he can try and get himself anywhere near that near post or one of the centre-halves. But this is a threat for the away side.
Misty night in Blackburn, a long throw-in towards the near post, picked on by Dolby, and it goes straight into the arms of Pears inside the 6-yard box before anyone can pounce upon it. Mullin was lurking with intent. They've won the ball back high up the pitch. It's picked up by Cannon, who's fouled. That's going to be a free kick according to Andy Madley for the foul by Garrett. Just 7 or 8 yards short of the edge of the D, just left of centre.
Oh, what an opportunity this as well. I'm not quite sure if Paul Mullin's going to be the guy to take this free kick, but it's about 30 yards out. Silly foul in the midfield area from Garrett. Just got to stay on your feet. And as I said before, sometimes Blackburn, they overplay when they're coming out from that 18-yard box, where they can just take a breather at times and let the game just grow. But they want to get on with things. They want to try and get themselves in front, and at the moment they're on edge.
He did score a free kick recently in the game against Barrow. Paul Mullin, 12 goals this season. And you can hear the Wrexham fans singing his name as he steps up to take this right-footed 4-man wall. Goes down low towards the goalkeeper's left. He takes a couple of steps, collects it, and is able to clear. But it is a shot on target from Wrexham after 17 minutes.
Yes, it is. I'm sure if you ask him, Sam, he'd like to take that free kick again. It was kind of a languid run-up to it, wasn't it? A little bit nonchalant for my liking. I think he just needed to get his laces through it, maybe with a little bit of pace, and ask questions of Ainsley Pears. But it was a simple catch for the keeper, wasn't it there? They worked hard to get themselves in that position in the first place.
Well, Wrexham themselves might feel as if they could topple Newcastle at the Racecourse Ground. They've done it before. A 4-1 win at the Racecourse Ground back in the 70s after a replay when they got decent results at St James's Park. They would love to set that game up again. Imagine how Ryan Reynolds would sell that on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ball's in the arm of Arthur Okonkwo. Came through the Arsenal youth team set up, and he's desperate to get promotion with Wrexham this season. And second currently in League Two. Ball given away by Garrett, taken on by Dalby after good work from Mully. They play it to the right. Cannon's moved into the area. Right-footed shot. Oh, it's a brilliant goal! Andy Cannon scores for Wrexham to put the League Two side in the lead. The Wrexham fans go absolutely balmy, and this team just can't stop upsetting people. Andy Cannon, on his 275th appearance of his career, scores his third goal of the campaign, and they don't come much bigger than this against Championship Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park. It's Rovers 0, Wrexham 1, and we might be in for another big FA Cup upset.
Wow. I think I'll just stay silent so you can listen to that crowd first and foremost, but what a goal from a Wrexham perspective. Blackburn just dilly-dallying on the ball, giving away, and when it falls to Sam Darby, plays that ball, it just gets his head up, plays that ball out to the right-hand side to Andrew Cannon, and he just fires that ball low into the bottom corner. Brilliant start to the game, brilliant finish for the away side. Game on, Sam.
Well, Andy Cannon with a rocket from the edge of the box, and it was such a true hit from the midfielder that there was no chance that Ainsley Pears could get down to it. I think he might be disappointed about the side that it was on, but it was hit with such venom he just couldn't reach it, and Wrexham lead by a goal to nil, live on TalkSport 2 tonight. And the reward will be a place in the 5th round against Newcastle United of the Premier League, and recently a team that went to the Parc de France and played PSG. That's the kind of glamour that could be coming to the racecourse ground. There's still a long way to go yet.
Yeah, there certainly is, Sam. I mean, look, there had to be goals in this game because you've got two sides who just go for it. Sometimes they leave gaps at the back, which is what Blackburn Rovers have certainly just done themselves.
Well, Blackburn have struggled this season. Only Queen's Park Rangers and Sheffield Wednesday, both in the bottom 4, have lost more games than Rovers this season, who have the worst defensive record in the Championship. And they are appealing here, McLean's appealing here for a foul on this near side. Steve Parkin, the assistant manager who's on the touchline tonight, is moaning to the 4th official. 53 goals they conceded in 28 games in the league this season, and even when they beat Cambridge, by the way, the other week, you know, they conceded the opening goal in that game. And then Smodic equalised. Cambridge went back in front again after that before they scored another 4 goals.
They did, Sam. I was here that day and I just didn't think the goals were going to stop. The first one come for Cambridge after 6 minutes, and look, we've had to wait 19 minutes for the first one tonight, but this is the way they play. They leave opportunities.
Andy Cannon with a goal. Here's Gallagher inside the penalty area, looking to get on the end of a right wing cross. It goes over the top of the crossbar. I can tell you that later on tonight the sports bar will be open for business on TalkSport with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Here on TalkSport 2 at 10 o'clock tonight we've got the Women's Football Show with Leanne Sanderson. And tomorrow, 9 o'clock, we've got, following on, India against England, the first test highlights. And I can tell you there's more cricket coming your way very shortly, because after England's thrilling 28-run win over India in the first test, you can hear live and exclusive ball-by-ball commentary on the second test this Friday from 3:30 a.m. on TalkSport 2. Here's Cannon again from distance. Another shot from distance. Parried, comes back and it's pushed over the top after brilliant following in from James McLean by the goalkeeper Ainsley Pears. Excellent reactions after Cannon unleashed another one. He couldn't handle it. He pushed it back out and James McLean couldn't find the target.
But it's brilliant. It's direct football. They win the ball high up the pitch. Great strike from Andrew Cannon. If you just put one in the back of the net, then why not have a shot from 25 yards out? Saved by Ainsley Pears. And then James McLean. It's a brilliant reaction save, I have to say, from Pears. But should he be scoring there, Sam? I think he has to put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think he'll see that as a missed opportunity, James McLean, who's only got 2 goals since signing for Wrexham. He's taking this corner from the near side. It's 1-0 to Wrexham of League Two. Ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed over the top of the crossbar, and it goes out of play and away for another Wrexham corner, which McLean will take away to our left-hand side. We've had a really good 23 and a half minutes live on TalkSport 2. McLean puts the ball down in front of the Blackburn end. A couple of teenagers come right to the front of the stands to give him a bit of abuse. He doesn't really care about it. He's got quite a thick skin, James McLean. Hand up, left-footed delivery deep towards the far post. Headed away. The offside flag was... Oh, no, it's not an offside flag. It's a flag up for the ball going out and coming back in again. And it's going to be a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
It was interesting, sorry Sam, it was interesting to see the way that they set up for that corner from James McLean. They were in kind of a train line, weren't they? There was 4 or 5 Wrexham players, and then as soon as McLean was going to whip the ball into the area, they all spread out, and it just makes it so hard for a defender and to pick up your man to say, right, I'm marking you, but when they do that, it's so difficult.
They're trying to play out from the back here and cause themselves grief again, Blackburn, giving the ball away. Luckily this time they've managed to regather the possession, send it forward, and Gallagher's done it now inside the centre circle. Cannon goes across as Smodic plays it wide. It's collected over on the far touchline, midway inside the Wrexham half of the field by Sigurdsson, and it's given away, and Cannon then sends the ball to Barnett, and Barnett starts to scamper down the right touchline. He's got Mullin waiting in the centre. It's a brilliant ball, and it's just behind Paul Mullin. And diving in to try and stop it was Rankin Costello, and it went through his legs, and Mullin, I think it maybe just got enough of a touch to take it away from Mullin, but it was a little bit behind Mullin, who's linked up again with McLean on this left-hand side, who's trying to dance past Dolan. Dolan this time manages to get the ball clear for Blackburn, but Blackburn have felt the full force of the Red Dragons in the opening 25 minutes of this game. They had to suck up a little bit of pressure early on, but now they're breathing fire.
Fantastic, great to see. Put themselves under a little bit of pressure here as I'm speaking, Sam, but that ball in from Ryan Barnett over on the right hand side, he started in his own 18-yard box, a lovely little give and go. He burst up that right hand side, he whipped the ball in. He basically only had Paul Mullin to pick out, and that slight little touch just took it behind him, didn't it? And I think the opportunity went, but you're right, they're growing into this game. They're using the energy of these 7,000 Wrexham supporters, and it's spurring them on.
This is TalkSport 2 live at Ewood Park tonight, and it's been a feisty start to the game. Blackburn came out, started to put pressure on the Wrexham goal away to our right in front of those 7,000 fans. I think they just about got away with it in that first 15 minutes or so, but since then Wrexham have started to play a bit of football, get up the pitch. They've scored the opening goal of the game, and actually it's knocked the wind out of the Blackburn sails, and it's really encouraged Wrexham to continue playing their football. Yeah,
it certainly has. They're rattled, Blackburn. See, some of the passes are not going where they expect them to go, as they were early on in the game.
Lovely turn by Smodic though to rob Owen O'Connell of the ball. He sends a low ball in towards the near post, steered behind by Tozer, and it's out now for a Blackburn corner. Well, I think this might be quite entertaining.
It's not going to let up. Two sides, they just go for it, as we've seen from Wrexham over the last season and a half. They go for it. You know, they can win games 5-3, they can draw games 4-4, and you can say the same about Blackburn.
Ball sent into the centre by Rankin Costello. It's easily cleared away by the Wrexham defence, comes back into midfield. Wharton will spray it out towards this near side where it's chested down by Smodic. In the right wing position is Dolan trying to get the better of O'Connell. Gets to the byline, has to turn again. He's got space for Smodic. There's 3 at the back post waiting for a delivery that isn't forthcoming. And eventually the ball goes back to Dolan once again. Smodic wants it played inside, but he tries to take on McLean, and McLean is never going to allow that to happen. And he smashes the ball upfield after smashing the ball away from Dolan. And it remains 1-0 to Wrexham.
Well, it's a great battle, isn't it, down this right-hand side with Dolan against McLean. A couple of occasions McLean's came out better, standing his ground. He's just waiting for that little bit of movement from Dolan. He's got that low centre of gravity, he can go either way. But I have to say, James McLean so far, his defending's been absolutely superb, and he's nearly got himself on the score sheet at the other end.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a disturbance behind the goal away to our right at the Darwin end. I don't know if it's a medical emergency I think it might be actually. I think there is a medical problem inside the Darwin end. There is a stretcher being passed up to a group of paramedics and stewards who have gone to attend to a fan who I think has got a serious problem. So there is medical attention on site in the Darwin end away to our right hand side amongst the Wrexham fans. We'll keep an eye on it. Best wishes to anyone who's involved in that situation. At the other end, Wrexham have won a free kick and Elliot Lee is standing on top of it. Now, I think the initial free kick that Mullins sent straight towards the goalkeeper's left, and it was an easy save, was maybe about 4 or 5 steps closer. And this one, I think, is going to be tossed over the top for everybody to scramble into.
Yeah, certainly looks that way, Sam, doesn't it? Whether it's a
Oh, he's taken a short one to Elliot Lee, who's then tried to crack it from about 30 yards. It hit Sigurdsson, who got out to him very quickly, and it's cleared away by Blackburn Rovers. I mean, Wrexham continue to come forward. Out towards the left-hand side. Cleworth is chasing into a left wing position. He's the centre-half, by the way. The right side is centre-half.
They're inventive, aren't they, Sam? I think, we're, from the corners and the free kicks that we've seen so far from Wrexham, they all seem to have been just a little bit different. Something that they obviously work really hard at. And they must get their just rewards from it because they look a threat and they've got the confidence to take them on.
Well, maybe they've done their research, Mickey, because you will know that Blackburn have got the worst record in the Championship when defending set pieces. They've conceded 12 goals from that method over the course of the season, so they probably wouldn't want to come up against a side who are well renowned as set-piece specialists. Wrexham have scored more set-piece goals than any other team in League 2 this campaign, and have also got a division-leading 142 shots from dead ball situations.
Which brings us back to the conversation in the build-up to this game, Sam, is the importance of set pieces.
Oh, Mullin tussling over on the far side and trying to get the better of Wharton. Almost didn't quite manage it, and it's cleared away. I think it was going to be a foul anyway. And Rankin Costello brings it out towards this near touchline, and we continue in the 4th round of the FA Cup, live on TalkSport. 30 minutes gone, and it is Blackburn Rovers of the Championship 0, League 2, Wrexham, owned by Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood stars, the geezer who wears that red rubber costume in Deadpool, and the guy that serves the drinks in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm sure at the moment it's always sunny wherever they are, because owning Wrexham has been one hell of a journey for them, and one hell of a journey for those 7,000 Wrexham fans behind the goal. It's an outstanding achievement for them, actually, to make a journey like that on a Monday night. Work commitments, family commitments, the sheer number of them. They're jam-packed into that end away to our right-hand side.
They've been brilliant, and they've certainly made themselves heard. They have been that 12th man, and they've got the just rewards. They came here to see goals. Well, got themselves in front now, but they're not just holding on to it, Sam. They're looking for the second.
Hyam plays it out to the far side. It's given to Smodic, who's just dropped a little bit deeper in the last 5 minutes or so because he hasn't been able to get hold of the ball. It's played up towards the right. Rankin Costello is over halfway and into the Wrexham half of the field. He'll go infield now and try and bring it back to the halfway line where it's at the feet of Hyam, and Moran plays it into Scott Wharton, who strokes the ball wide. Moran's got it now into Garrett, who does a little turn to get it away from the first centre defender, then feeds Gallagher right side, comes back to Smodic, deflection and in. Sammy Smodic will claim it, but there was a big deflection which took it past the Wrexham goalkeeper Okonkwo. It was a really neat bit of football by Blackburn Rovers, who slalomed their way through the Wrexham defence, and when Gallagher helped it on to Sammy Smodic, there was only one thing he was looking at, and that was shooting towards goal. The deflection helps it past the goalkeeper, and Blackburn are level. It's 1-1.
Well, on reflection of the game over the last 2 or 3 minutes, you have to say that Blackburn probably just about deserved that equalising goal. They've shown a lot of inventiveness in that final third, and I think it's Sam Gallagher who's certainly the threat. He doesn't look a threat of scoring a goal himself, but he set up Sam Smodic on a couple of occasions. Smodic gets his little bit of good fortune with that deflection, just it takes it away from Okonkwo in that Wrexham goal, but they've been knocking on the door. This time Smodic has got his just rewards.
1-1. A game full of goals on TalkSport 2 tonight, and that's 20 goals for the season for the ex-Colchester and Peterborough attacking midfielder stroke striker Sami Smodic, who takes his total in this year's FA Cup alone to 4 goals. When he played not even not even a game and a half yet. Here is Dalby on the edge of the area looking for a chance to centre the ball to Elliot Lee. It's cut out by Blackburn on the edge of their own penalty area, and then they make a break for the halfway line. Moran steers it left. Sigurdsson takes over. Smodic playing it back in towards the path of Rankin Costello. He's got on the outside of him Garrett. Garrett moves up towards the right angle of the penalty area, and then Smodic spins in behind. Dolan is dispossessed by O'Connell, and a chance maybe for Wrexham to break. Cannon did well, went to go backwards, but Barnett continued his run out to the far side, so that gave him the passing angle to take the ball over the halfway line and to relative safety. It's knitted together really well by Evans, who touches the ball wide towards the right, and then they try to go down the right touchline, but they just run out of room, and it goes out for a throw-in halfway inside Blackburn territory. Blackburn Rovers 1, Wrexham 1 on Talk Sport 2 in the FA Cup 4th round, and now Gallagher has gone steaming through. Okonkwo has come out, he's missed it, and Gallagher has steered it home, and Blackburn have come from behind to lead by 2 goals to 1. A serious mishap, a switch off from the throw-in, Wrexham gave away. Gallagher went racing clear in behind the defence. The goalkeeper came steaming out, he completely misjudged it. Gallagher slipped it beyond him into the empty net, and Gallagher has helped Blackburn Rovers come from 1-0 down to lead by 2 goals to 1.
And in the space of 2 minutes they've achieved that, Simon. You've got to give Sam Gallagher a lot of credit over on the left-hand side. He's alive, isn't he? He's waiting for the mistake. The mistake comes, he just pokes out his right foot to get away from his marker. And again, Okonkwo comes off his line, and I'm just wondering, is he better off staying? If you're a goalkeeper and you come off your line, you've got to take everything. There's no way he's going to get himself into a position where he can clear his lines. Sam Gallagher, full credit, on the front foot. Thought he was going to take it round the goalkeeper. He saw a little gap, and what a super finish from the tall centre forward.
Oh, it was really poor, I think, from the goalkeeper, because he had a little bit of a let-off in the first few minutes of the game when he came out wide towards this near side, misjudged it, and luckily for him, the ball went narrowly wide of the goal. However, on this occasion, Gallagher's finish was so precise, and there was no one behind him, no backstop like there was when Ben Tozer cleared it from inside the 6-yard box. This time they've conceded, and it's 2-1 to Blackburn Rovers on Talk Sport 2 with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Ball taken over the halfway line by Cleworth. Out towards the near side, and then there's a darting run by James McLean. It takes a deflection as his cross goes into the centre. It's away by Hyam, and then it's picked up on this near side and away for a throw-in. And they want to get it moving themselves now, Wrexham. 2-1 the score, a dizzying night at Ewood Park. Definitely well worth the reduced attendance fee. It's only £15 a ticket to come in here tonight. And they do, I can tell you this as someone who has tried them, they do great chips. And a big batch of chips from outside on the way in.
Here we go again. Wow, it's incredible. I mean, you've got two sides who just want to go for it, Sam, and talk about that £15. Well, they've had their money's worth already in the game, haven't they? And we're not finished yet. Trust me, because these two sides are just going for it.
Evans into O'Connell, who strides over halfway for Wrexham, in possession, midway inside opposition territory. Wide on the left-hand side, Elliot Lee comes out and receives the ball. He's engaged by Dolan. Back down to McLean, his ball is kicked straight out of play by Tyrese Dolan, and it's out for a throw-in. Well, it all looked rosy for Wrexham when they were 1-0 up, given to them courtesy of Andy Cannon's goal. It was a terrific goal as well. Only for the equaliser to come from Sami Smodic, a player I think we could have backed on getting a goal tonight, seeing as he scored so many over the course of the season. It's his 6th goal in 5 games, and as I mentioned earlier, he's into 20 goals now for the season, which is pretty impressive at this stage of a campaign for anyone. Ball clipped over down the right-hand side, looking for the darting run into the box of Cannon. He thinks it took a little deflection off a Blackburn jersey and goes behind, didn't, and it's a goal kick away to our left-hand side. So 38 gone, Rovers 2, Wrexham 1. You're listening to Talk Sport 2, and Wrexham's players actually, fair to them, they handle the big occasions usually very well. You go back to last season, that game against Sheffield United, the Coventry game, the Notts County match before that, the season before that, the Boreham Wood game, pressure matches that they came through when they needed to in order to first of all get them promoted into the league, and then big matches in the FA Cup as well. And they know how to handle the pressure cooker situations. Smodic wins the ball for Blackburn right side, plays it infield, collected by Garrett now, who moves up into the midway point of the Wrexham half, dead centrally. Gallagher holds the ball up well, turns it round the corner, collected by Sigurdsson for Blackburn, who are on the attack down the left. They come forward and a little bit further on than that with Wharton, who clips it forward, but it was backwards of square in the end. Now Moran takes over. He's moved out to the right side. Smodic just guides it back towards Rankin Costello, and then a good turn by Garrett almost opened up the Wrexham back line. Dolan then goes darting in the inside right channel, a little bit too fierce from Smodic, and it comes off his toes and goes behind and away. For a goal kick away to our right hand side. It's been a very entertaining first 39 minutes. Here's TalkSport's Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it certainly has, Sam. It has been a fantastic watch, no question about that, from both sides. Sometimes when you watch Blackburn, when they're attacking, it's Tyrese Dolan, who's supposed to be playing as a right wing back. He's basically all over the place, which leaves them very disjointed, and they leave space in behind. And I think that's where Dalby and Paul Mullen can capitalise on Blackburn. But they've got to try and win the ball a little bit quicker than they have done over the last 5 or 6 minutes, which is why they find themselves 2-1 behind now.
Garrett forward in the rain, finding Moran, who tries to slip it into the right channel for Gallagher. The referee's pulled it back for a foul, and he was getting a little bit of mouth, let's say that, from Scott Wharton, who was told in no uncertain terms by Andy Madley to keep it shut. And it will be a free kick to Blackburn, 20 yards inside opposition territory, just on the right side. Goes back to the centre circle, and then Hyam fires it into Rankin Costello. Back it goes to Hyam again, and then over to Scott Wharton, who was part of that side that went to the quarterfinals last campaign. Hyam just short of the centre circle, plays it out towards the Blackburn right. Inside ball position is Tyrese Dolan. He helps it on wide now. On the touchline is Moran, and his ball down into the path of Dolan was just, it was the wrong angle really. Just got the wrong angle on it. It was a little bit too eager, and it just dribbles out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. I think for Wrexham it's really important that they keep the score at 2-1 and go into half time with just that slender deficit.
Yeah, but have they got that mindset? Which is what I would ask, because I think they're searching for that equalising goal before half-time, Sam, I have to say. But Blackburn, that's 2 occasions now, is it Smodic and Moran who played through balls. It was the final pass which has let them down. It was Dolan who made the run on a couple of occasions.
McLean has got past Rankin Costello. He's on the edge of the area. He's fed Cannon. There's speed on the right-hand side for Barnett. Barnett gets into the box now, moves in towards the area, tries to produce a cross, does that. It's a little bit too high, but Mullin brings it down anyway, gets away from the defender, can't get a shot clear, so sends it back to McLean. McLean trying to get some way of steering the ball into the box. O'Connell joins the attack. Wrexham thrusting men forward here and trying to unseat Blackburn, but Blackburn actually recover their faculties and push Wrexham all the way back to the halfway line. 4 minutes to go before the break. TalkSport 2. Ball into Dolby. He tries to hold it up, doesn't quite hold on to it, bounces back into Evans, who gives it away, and it's taken upfield by Blackburn. Well, it's been a fiercely competitive match, no doubt about it. And these two teams going at it hammer and tong is certainly entertaining, richly rewarding to be sitting here and keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. Enjoyed every single moment of it.
I know you sort of said that, I think some others said it as well, you know, John Dole Thomas is not entirely sort of convinced the Blackburn supporters because of sometimes they look a little bit naive when they're playing the better teams in the Championship. One of the reasons why they've put some bad results together. But I tell you what, I've come here a few times over the years and been bored to tears watching Blackburn, and actually that's definitely not the case now, is it?
I hope it wasn't when I was here, Sam.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I can't back that up because I don't know which games you came to, but I have to say,
I tell you that. You know what? The one that sticks in my memory more than anything else, right? It was a Premier. It was, I don't know if it was a Premier League game or not actually, but it was back in 2010, and I was going to Blackpool for TalkSport. Right, I was going to Blackpool for TalkSport, and I had to come north anyway. The game got called off as I was on my way up to Blackpool, and I thought, well, I'm 3/4 of the way there now. Blackburn are playing today. Their game is on. I'm just going to go there and watch. So I'd just driven for no reason from London up towards the northwest. Thought I might as well go to Blackburn because, you know, might as well take in a football match when you can. And it was 0-0.
Well, they don't draw much here these days. I think it's 2 draws this season at Ewood Park.
Absolutely.
So they either win or lose.
They've changed the tack now, haven't they? Foul given against Sigurdsson, who's just scythed his way through Ryan Barnett. And he's saying he won the ball. And actually, I think he's got a little bit of a case there. But the free kick has been given by the referee, Andy Madley, and it's going to be a set piece towards the end of this first half. In fact, only 90 seconds left to play. And it's Blackburn Rovers 2, Wrexham 1.
Yeah, it's James McLean who stood over this free kick, and we know over the years, Sam, he's got the quality. I just wonder whether this is a bit of a strange angle for him to put this into the box.
He dressed it in left-footed towards the far post, and it goes right the way through to, I think it was Elliot Lee who snuck in behind Gallagher and dabbed the ball down with his head. I think he was hoping that someone would be coming in upon it to be able to pounce on the loose ball. They weren't, and it was cleared away by Blackburn, but Elliot Lee should not be winning a header there. Here's Moran down the right-hand side. Into the box he goes as Blackburn come on the counter-attack. He's got Garrett bursting into the box, but Dolan's the one who picks it up inside the area. Dreadful pass, which is easily cut out by Tozer, and then turned by Dolby into the path of Cannon. They look to escape, but Rankin Costello closes down the angle, and it's cleared away.
Apologetic hand going up in the air from Tyrese Dolan there. I think he knows he's a little bit frustrated. He was trying to get it onto his stronger right foot, couldn't do it. He had to run basically across the 18-yard box, and he played that weak pass with his left foot, give the ball away, which then gives Wrexham another opportunity to break forward.
Rovers 0, Wrexham 0 on TalkSport. Ball clipped forward by Rankin Costello. It was angled towards the far side, and it's out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right.
Well, just while we got a little bit of a break, Sam, you did mention about the fan being in the crowd, and we hope that they're okay. But it looks like it's all being sorted out now, doesn't it? Which is fantastic.
Has been cleared up, and the stewards and the medical staff have left that area. There are 2 minutes of added time.
2 minutes added time. 2 minutes.
Well, the PA is so loud here, I didn't need to tell you. Just let him do it.
You've complained about the music before kickoff.
No, I didn't.
Now,
I actually, that's not true, is it? As he is my witness, I was praising the music before kickoff.
yeah, well, you actually were. You just said it was a little loud.
I was singing along to it, actually. I was having a little bit of a boogie. They played the Cortinas, didn't they?
Yeah.
What else did they play? I've forgotten now. It was 45 minutes ago. It's too long ago for me to remember. Rovers 2, Wrexham 1. Sam Fender, they played a bit of that. Yeah, heard that as well.
Back to you now.
Yeah, slowly, very slowly. Tronstadt through the centre for Blackburn. Onto Smodic, inside the area, shoots past the goalkeeper. It's a brilliant finish from Sammy Smodic. One long ball through the centre from Tronstadt, releasing the prolific Sammy Smodic, and he took it first time past the goalkeeper from just inside the box. And Blackburn Rovers are well on their way to round 5 now. They lead by 3 goals to 1 on the stroke of half time.
Well, he doesn't mind his competition, Sammy Smodic, does he? I mean, it's a super finish, I have to say. The ball through from Tronstadt. You can see Smodic, he's just playing on the shoulders of the centre halves. He knows if he makes the run, that pass is going to come. It's whether it's just going to bounce perfectly for him into his path. Well, it does that. He stays calm. A man who's already got 20 goals this season's not going to miss an opportunity like that. You can see he's telling everybody just to calm down. With his weaker left foot, it's a super finish. Past the Conquo. Look, what a first half this has now been for Blackburn Rovers. Great finish from Smodic.
Well, it was a really top finish by what is a really top player at this level. He's scored loads of goals in the Championship, and he scored another load of goals here. That's a foul by Dolan on McLean. Those two have got well acquainted with one another, I think, in the first half. The 21-year-old Tyrese Dolan back from a bit of a knee injury that kept him out for 8 weeks.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's been very ferocious, hasn't it? Dolan and McLean throughout the whole of this first half. They've had 2 free kicks now, Wrexham, from a little bit further out from where this one's going to be taken from, Sam. It's about 22 yards out, and it is Paul Mullen this time. I just want to see a bit more intent in his run-up. And obviously for him, this is an important moment just before half-time. You can imagine the roar we get from the Darwen end to our right-hand side if this one hits the back of the net. But this is a big opportunity for Wrexham to get themselves back into the game.
Well, Mullen places the ball down, as Vicky says, about 22, 23 yards from goal, just left of centre, right-footed towards the goal. It's over the top of the crossbar. Too much loft on it, and it goes out away to our left-hand side. But it was a brilliant first 45 minutes. It really was. Absolutely edge-of-your-seat stuff, pure entertainment, goals galore. Andy Cannon put us on the scoreboard after 19 minutes to put Wrexham in front with a brilliant goal from the edge of the penalty after a good bit of football from Wrexham. But boy, did Blackburn respond. Schmodic twice, Gallagher as well. It means that Blackburn are 45 minutes away from setting up a 5th round meeting with their manager's old club Newcastle. At half-time, it's Blackburn Rovers 3, Wrexham 1.
Now, when Johnny last came to Ewood Park, we got the offer of a sandwich or a steak pie.
And you went for chips?
I went for chips. I went downstairs and got some chips. Absolutely right. No changes at half-time between Blackburn Rovers, who lead by 3-1, and Wrexham in red shirts, white shorts and white socks, attacking the Darwen end away to our right where their fans are situated. There's blue and white half jerseys of Blackburn attacking their home end, the Ronnie Clayton Blackburn end away to our left-hand side with white shorts and blue socks. 64% possession for Blackburn in a blockbuster first half. 11 shots, 5 on target. Wrexham had 7 shots and 4 on target, and we've had 4 goals in the game already, and we're only just getting started. Ball sent long down the right from Mullin to chase, down into the right, inside right position, and out comes the goalkeeper to grab it. He does so, and there's a little thumbs up from Paul Mullin because he likes balls like that.
Yeah, he certainly does, Sam, and what that does early on in the second half is knowing that the pitch is going to be stretched. Cleworth just playing that long ball. Next occasion, he just has to take a little bit off it because he knows that, as we talked in the first half, Mullin has got the beating of these centre-halves, certainly pace-wise.
Smodic has it on the near side for Blackburn Rovers, back to halfway. There have been 16 games between these two, and oddly it's Wrexham who have the upper hand in the head-to-head record. But it's Blackburn who have the upper hand in the game so far tonight. They come down the left with Sigurdsson, and Elliot Lee almost loses the ball to Gallagher inside the area. It's half cleared by Wrexham, and they're encouraged to shoot. Garrett sends it forward, picked up now by Sigurdsson. His right-footed effort is going to go wide of the left-hand upright and drop behind and away for a goal kick, but they've got to clear their lines better than that.
Yeah, well, Elliot Lee, I mean, I talked about him before in the build-up to this game. I think he's a smashing player. I really do. He's tenacious, he's end-to-end, he certainly knows where the back of the net is, but when he's on the edge of his own 18-yard box, don't try and play out, don't try and be pretty. You just get your laces through it, clear your lines, and then you can get your breather. Got to grow into this second half. They're chasing the game. Don't put it on a plate for Blackburn Rovers.
Dolan, Smodic. Dolan again inside the centre circle, plays it left. And where it's collected initially by Garrett, who gets it back off Sigurdsson and goes down the left touchline and into the deep area of the Wrexham half, down by the byline, cuts back again and gives it to Sam Smodic. He goes infield to Dolan, who's come over from the right-hand side. It looks a little bit as if he's going to try and play more centrally in this second 45. Into Gallagher, tries to flick it round the corner. He's being watched by Tozer. The ball breaks into the penalty area. It's mopped up, and then there was maybe a head injury here, which is going to give Wrexham the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Gallagher just going across. I think he was the aggressor in that situation, and it's going to be a Blackburn Rovers free kick.
There wasn't too much malice in the challenge, was there, Sam? It's been a physical game, but no nastiness in it. And you were just touched on Tyrese Dolan. He's actually gone back over to the right-hand side, but I saw it on 3 or 4 occasions in the first half. He's supposed to be the right wing-back. He was playing as a centre-forward at times, and you never really quite know what John Dahl Thomason's doing. I mean, we found it difficult to figure out what system and who was going to play where before the game kicked off, and I'm still not quite sure.
It's certainly been like putting a few square pegs in round holes, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. But it's worked for them so far. Look, they've got 3 fantastic goals. They panicked a little bit when they went a goal behind, but I think when you think about the threat that they've been, certainly offensively, it certainly worked in that first half where they got the 3 great goals.
18,169 are here, and over 7,300 of them have come from Wrexham. So it is pretty much almost half and half inside the stadium tonight. Maybe just a little bit over 60-40 in the home team's favour. And Blackburn have the ball on the halfway line, and it's with Rankin Costello into Hyam, who moves down the side of the centre circle, nudges it wide towards the right, picked up by Garrett and then sent back in and sent long out to the left, looking for Sigurdsson, who's going to pick up the second ball after Barnett's delivery wasn't great. Garrett's picked it up, number 10 position, collected now by Wharton. He plays it out to Sigurdsson, but he's robbed by Barnett, and then Barnett fancies his chances to travel to halfway. Travel to halfway he does. He gets actually sandwiched between, I think, 3 bodies in the end, and I think the referee was suggesting that maybe there was a pullback earlier in the move by Sigurdsson, who I mean, it's always good if you do that. I mean, if you're a defender, what you do is you tug the shirt, then put your hands in the air to say, I haven't touched him, when clearly what you've just done is do exactly the opposite.
Yeah, but Andy Madley did the right thing. You could see that Ryan Barnett over on this right hand side was on a great little run, and if he'd have got away from the 3 markers, we would have been talking about his great pace and getting away from his markers. But also clever from Blackburn's perspective on the halfway line. It's called a cheap foul, isn't it, Sam?
Cannon moving away from the clutches of Garrett, and Garrett actually was quite late then as he turned and tripped Andy Cannon, and that's going to be our first yellow card of the game. And I think Andy Madley's got that one just about right. Jake Garrett the first to go into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. He's been very lenient, I have to say, Andy Madley in the game. He's tried to let the game flow, and rightly so, and that's why we've had such an entertaining game of football so far. But this is another set piece for Wrexham. You see 7 or 8 red shirts in that 18-yard box.
Box office so far. The ball's sent out to the wide right for a cross from Barnett, whose delivery is very high. Elliot Lee scurrying across to try and chase it. It hits him on the back, and then he tussles with Gallagher. Tries to play it against Gallagher. It goes out of play though before that, and goes for a Blackburn throw in the right full-back position. I thought that was a little bit of a waste actually from Wrexham, because they had a set piece which they could have constructed an attack from, bearing in mind the vulnerability from set pieces that Blackburn have shown over the course of the season so far. They're better off just getting it in the box, aren't they?
Yeah, but with better quality. I think that's the criticism there, Sam, isn't it? Ryan Barnett got himself into a good position, just got too much pace on it.
Ball cut out by James McLean far side, but doesn't steer it away from Moran, so he turns it back infield, and they come forward again, Blackburn, up into the path of Garrett, who got bumped in the back by O'Connell. O'Connell made his Celtic debut actually on the same day that Virgil van Dijk did.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Claim to fame.
Virgil van Dijk, who's had some interesting comments to make during the course of the day after the announcement of Jurgen Klopp, and then there's a little bit of an elbow that might have come out there, and well, they're not happy about it at all. George Evans is complaining, saying that he was caught by an elbow, and Tyrese Dolan was pulled away by Gallagher. The referee Andy Madley is now going to speak to both players. We've got the benefit of a replay of it, and there was just a little bit of a kick out and then a head-to-head between the two. Just watch his arm there. Does he raise that up into the face of George Evans just as he goes beyond him? Did feel a little bit unnecessary.
And I have to say, Sam, just after that, Sam Gallagher's a lucky boy. I know he's trying to break the 2 players up, but he grabs the throat, doesn't he? And when you do that, you have to be so careful. Andy Madley just had a good look at that, but you're right about the elbow with Dolan. You could see the elbow was out a little bit. I think it was George Evans who was basically on his knees, wasn't he? But it was a come together, and you could certainly see the frustration on his face.
54 gone. 3-1 to Blackburn, who've won the ball back on the halfway line. They're looking to spring another counter-attack. Oh, Evans has made a mistake, giving it straight back to Moran, then he's giving it straight back to O'Connell. And Cannon now needs to add a little bit of poise to proceedings. He gives it to Elliot Lee, who sends it long, and Derby is chasing in behind here. Hyam comes across to try and shepherd him wide of the penalty area. He's on the left-hand side as Wrexham look at it. It's fired into Mullin. I mean, he's never going to be able to control that.
and then it's half cleared. But it's going to be one back by Barnett, edge of the area. Sigurdsson comes across and does brilliantly, and he steers it out towards the near side. It's out for a throw for Wrexham. Next goal's really important in the game. 3-1 on TalkSport.
And the atmosphere has just started to stoke up a little. It's been a bit scrappy over the last couple of minutes, but really good play from Dalby, holding the ball up well. Ball just into Paul Mullen's feet. You're right. How is he supposed to control that? Centre forward wants great quality. Better service.
They have won a throw-in down on this right-hand side. Mullen's done brilliantly actually to get in front of Hyam and win the ball back when it looked like it was going to be a routine clearance for the Scotsman. And that winning of a throw-in on this near side means that Ben Tozer can unleash his catapult. Wrexham fans cheer behind the goal. It's launched in towards the near post. It's flicked away, half clear, comes to the edge of the box. McLean's going to strike it, but there's a foul inside the box, and before he does, the referee blows his whistle, and the momentum goes out of the attack.
Well, it's some slingshot, that, isn't it, Sam? I mean, I don't think I can kick the ball that far these days, but it's such a potent threat. We've seen it over the years from certain individual players, haven't we? Stoke for many years, we used to watch it week in, week out, but if you've got that in your armour, then why not use it? Because it's as good as a corner, if not better, because you can be more accurate with it. I mean, Dolan was fouled in the initial play when it found its way into the 18-yard box, but it's certainly causing Blackburn Rovers problems from these set pieces, whether it be long throws or free kicks.
Ball sent long down the left-hand side. Sigurdsson chasing it for Blackburn Rovers into the left wing position. He's in by the corner flag. He guides it back towards Smodic, who's on the back edge of the penalty area. He sends it wide again, and then it goes infield, collected by Garrett. Blackburn trying to forge some way past the Wrexham back line. They lead by 3-1. I did want to take issue with you actually, because you said you wouldn't be able to kick the ball that distance nowadays. I think you probably could. You told me earlier that you've been smashing the gym and you've been in there for 2.5 hours every day.
Yeah, I missed leg day last week.
Here's Gallagher trying to get in behind, and the goalkeeper this time comes out speedily, gathers the ball up. Wrexham are behind. Rovers leading by 3-1. Blackburn Rovers leading by 3-1 live on TalkSport 2 as we welcome listeners from TalkSport 2 live commentary from Ewood Park tonight, where it's been a blockbuster game between these two. They've already shared 4 goals. We've only played 56 minutes. Andy Cannon with the opener after 19 minutes, the rocket from the edge of the box to give Wrexham the lead, and then Blackburn, as they have done previously, fought back brilliantly. 2 goals from Sammy Smodic, goal number 20 and 21 for the season for him, and Gallagher in between have put the Ewood Park club in charge. But it's been magnificently entertaining, and they're coming forward again with Dolan over on the right hand side, cutting in from the touchline. Blackburn coming forward now. Moran leaves it, tries to play it through to Smodic, and it was just intercepted at the right time by Evans of Wrexham, and they clear it towards the halfway line. Elliot Lee gets on the ball, sends it long. James McLean trying to get in behind. Across comes Hyam. Mullinan made a really intelligent run through the centre of the penalty area, and if Elliot Lee had got on the end of that, that was certainly going to be his target, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, James McLean just basically ran out of steam, didn't he? He made a super run down the left-hand side, and it was played down there. I just think you give the opportunity to Rankin Costello to get himself back goal side, but before that, excellent move, and you can see that Wrexham want to try and get themselves back into the game, but at the moment it seems to be Blackburn who are just controlling the possession a little bit better than what the away side are.
Yep, it's Blackburn Rovers 3, Wrexham 1, and commentary continues on TalkSport 2. It is actually the first meeting between these two since 1982. It was towards the end of Wrexham's 4-year spell in the second tier, which is the highest they've ever been. They were relegated that year. You wouldn't rule out a return to that sort of level in the not too distant future. That's certainly the aim of the superstar ownership.
But there's no question things are happening, Sam, at Wrexham. Promotion from the National League last season, which had us gripped up until the final day with themselves and Notts County, was just absolutely incredible.
What a game that was, by the way. I'm not going to be honest, I watch a lot of football, but I don't watch much National League football. I stayed in to watch that game. Here's Smodic down the left-hand side. A little reverse ball into Gallagher. Gallagher commits a foul. It comes back and smashed into the goal. Brilliantly by Tronstadt from the edge of the box, beyond the stranded goalkeeper of Concro. And Blackburn Rovers have earned a game against Newcastle United of the Premier League in the 5th round of the FA Cup. They were 1-0 down in this game. They've scored 4 goals since, and they lead by 4-1. And Sondre Tronstadt is the latest goal scorer from the edge of the box.
There was a case, I think, to answer Wrexham complaining that Gallagher committed a foul on the edge of the penalty area, and the ball ran loose to the Norwegian, and he slammed it in off the roof of the net.
Well, it's a super finish from Tronstad, I have to say, and there is a question mark of whether Sam Gallagher has actually made a foul just prior to Tronstad firing that ball into the roof of the net. But I think Sam Gallagher makes contact with the ball there, and what it is, it's Wrexham yet again. They're just not clearing the lines at the right moment. And the Championship side have capitalised on that. They showed the better quality in the final third. Take nothing away from the finish. I think from a neutral perspective, we were probably hoping that Wrexham would get the next goal to make it more of a cup tie in this second half, but take nothing away from that finish from Tronstad. Absolutely superb.
If I'm not mistaken, and I might be wrong here, I have heard and seen Wrexham go 4-1 behind and draw 4-4 previously.
Yeah, you certainly have.
I'm not gonna rule anything out. With this lot, they make their own scripts. But at this moment in time, Blackburn looking in control, and actually, it just shows you Blackburn on their day when they're fully attuned and when they're playing opposition that aren't necessarily as fit and full of quality as their lineup is. They can pass through, you create chances and score goals. The issue they've got is they've got to sort out the defence. I mean, they've conceded 19 goals in their last 8.5 games, which is a real concern when you're fighting against, the bottom of the table and trying to avoid a relegation scrap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you touched on Wrexham there, Sam, and I said, they go for it every single week. I mean, the games you're talking about was Swindon. I think they were 4 or 5-1 down and came back to draw that game 5-5. And if you look at the first day of the season in League 2, I mean, they lost the game 5-3. And it's just incredible that you've got a side that are jumping from the National League and just taking every side on that come their way, and they're going to lose along the way, no doubt about that. I think they've maybe come up against better quality tonight, certainly in that final third. But why would you not do that when you've just touched on how many goals Blackburn Rovers concede? You've got to take the game to them. If you don't do that, then you're not going to get nothing out of it.
And it goes to the right side. Blackburn Rovers on the attack once again. They move up towards the edge of the penalty area and then try to steer it into the box with a cross from Rankin Costello, which is eaten up rather easily by the goalkeeper, and they will clear it away. Looks like there's going to be a triple substitution here for Blackburn Rovers. Yasin Ayari is coming on. Krisan and Telelovic are coming on. Telelovic, who hasn't really made much of an impact since they signed him from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Ayari, who they've got on loan from Brighton until the end of the season. Another young, exciting forward player. Picked up during January. And it's difficult to do deals in January, especially at this stage of the transfer window, just days remaining. But John Dole Thomason has already made 3 additions to his squad this month, and he's hoping for more, actually. Connor O'Riordan has signed permanently. He's cup-tied tonight, so can't play. I mentioned Yasin Ayari and Bren Chrisane, who are about to both come onto the field of play now. They're arrived on loan. James Hill, Lewis Travis have left the club. He's looking for a striker and a centre-back, I think. John Dole Thomason. Ball sent forward up into the path of Dolan, but just misses him, goes through his legs and out the other side, and it's easily picked off by the Wrexham defence. 4-1 to Blackburn Rovers, live on TalkSport 2 tonight. And Sports Bar is open for business from 10 o'clock this evening with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Here is Dolby holding it up well, steering it to Mullin inside the box, so it didn't quite fall for him. And then he's shrugged off the ball by Rankin Costello, who does really well actually to hold off the attention of Paul Mullin. That actually was a really good ball by Dolby after a brilliant run and excellent control.
Yeah, he's been excellent, Dolby, I have to say. Played that striker really well tonight.
Dolan with space to manipulate the ball in on the right side. The ball delivered by Moran into the box. It's on the edge of the 6-yard box. Wrexham get it clear, but they're not quick enough for the second ball, and Dolan wins it back again. Blackburn hemming them in. Smodic sends it wide. They're in charge now, Blackburn Rovers. 4-1 the lead. Out they go to the right side. Moran plays it in field. Dolan back to Moran again. No need to force the issue now for Blackburn Rovers, who later in the week will entertain Queen's Park Rangers at home before welcoming Stoke here and going to Birmingham away. It's Salford next for Wrexham away from home. Got a good result at the weekend under Carl Robinson.
and then Bradford at home and Sutton away, and a big game against Notts County at the racecourse ground for Phil Parkinson's charges. Ball still in play, and that's why we haven't had our substitutions yet, but Blackburn coming forward, Tronstadt trying to fire it forward, but O'Connell was rescued it, and then when it goes back high up towards Mullin from O'Connell, it's headed out on the far side and away for a throw-in to Wrexham. So here are the changes, and the first change is Dolan coming off and Hussein coming on. Another loan spell, Ben Hussein, not so long ago. He's on loan from Aston Villa. He had a short spell at Kilmarnock last season, which was interrupted by injury. Sam Gallagher is being withdrawn, and on comes Kalilovic. Hasn't quite happened for him in Lancashire. And the other change is the removal of Jake Garrett, who gets switched out for Yassine Ayari. Wrexham about to make a change, and it's going to be the return of Jakob Mendy, who missed the last round after getting called up for the Africa Cup of Nations in the Gambia squad. There's not many League Two teams that have players away at the AFCON.
No, absolutely. Well, brilliant occasion for himself. Come back from the AFCON.
Played 2 games in the Ivory Coast before they were eliminated.
And then coming back to play in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Absolutely fantastic few weeks he's had.
Here is Moran winning the ball up on this left-hand side. Sigurdsson's gone out to the right now. The ball's been played through the middle for Smodic, who's gone up as the main striker, with Ayari playing just in behind him now. And he was almost fed by Ayari, Sammy Smodic, before Ventosa stepped across and cleared it away on the edge of the Wrexham penalty area. Mendy about to come on this near side. And who is it they're they need to get some attention to somebody else as well. They want to make another change here, I think. But they're going to make a triple change now. Looks like Jones is coming off the bench too. James Jones, the Scotsman. And there's going to be another change as well. So 3 changes for Wrexham in the offing as they look to try and claw their way back into this encounter. If they're going to do it, they're going to need to do it quickly. We've only got 24 minutes to play and they need 3 goals. This is Talk Sport 2, live in the FA Cup. 4th round. It's Blackburn Rovers 4, Wrexham 1 in the FA Cup with Carling, the official beer of the Emirates FA Cup. Please drink responsibly, 18+. Ball is sent down into the right wing position. Across comes Mullin, doesn't get on the end of it. Cleared away by Blackburn, and it's into midfield. Initially it's collected by Yassine Ayari. And up towards that right hand side, and Blackburn try their desperate best to try and get on the end of it. Jordan Tunnicliffe is going to be the other of those 3 substitutes about to come on for Wrexham as the ball's cleared by Wrexham. Mullin wins what he thinks is a free kick over on the far side. The referee's having none of it, and the ball's brought away rather easily by Blackburn Rovers.
Been a bit of a frustrated centre forward, Paul Mullin, Sam, hasn't he, really, in this second half? He's not really had the service. I said that he never stops running. He's always been like that as a player, and he won't stop. I just wonder whether Phil Parkinson, I'm sure he's got communication with his coaches down on that.
Elliot Lee from inside his own half chips the goalkeeper. He tries to find the net, and he's so close to doing so. Well, it was a mistake by Adam Wharton which gave the ball away, and Elliot Lee picked it up just short of the halfway line in the centre circle, spotted the goalkeeper off his line, floated the ball goalwards, and it was maybe 5 yards wide of the right hand upright.
What an effort. Absolutely fantastic. Well,
had Pears interested.
It certainly did. I mean, he was trundling back towards his goal line, wasn't he? And it wasn't too far short. I mean, if it was on target, certainly was going to drop into the back of the net with Pears just in no man's land, let's be honest with you. And that's maybe the opportunity that Wrexham have been looking for. They're making these changes now, Sam. And I'm just wondering, I touched on it there, Phil Parkinson, whether he's got communication with his coaches in the technical area, maybe having one eye now on that game against Salford, because it's important that they keep winning in League 2, because Stockport look as if they're not going to go away. Mansfield are up there, Notts County are certainly knocking on the door as well. I just thought he might have had a look at Paul Mullin thinking they're 4-1 down, let's keep them fresh for the weekend.
indeed. But if you take Paul Mullin off, he has a go at you.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're probably not going to do that. I remember actually he pulled his hamstring in the game against Sheffield United last year, and they tried to take him off, and he was like, no, I'm fine. You're really not fine.
Well, you want that from your players, don't you? I mean, we all carry niggling injuries when you're a player. I know hamstrings are a little bit different, but you want to be out there playing against better teams.
Sigurdsson for Blackburn takes it down on his chest on the right-hand side of a lovely crossfield ball by the new Swedish international. The ball poked towards the edge of the box, and there was that handball there. Smodic thought that it was. The referee says no, and it's cleared away. Out on the far side the ball goes. The Blackburn fans aren't happy. The Wrexham fans are trying to urge their team back into the contest. We've got 20 minutes to go here. The ball is collected right side. Tronstadt, who scored a terrific goal, breaks down the right into the advanced position, approaching the edge of the penalty area. He plays it back to Moran, and then right touch to the touchline, far side in front of the Riverside stand. It's at the feet of Tronstadt. They bring it back. Elliot Lee gets it to his goalkeeper, and it was a little bit tight for Okonkwo, who manages to get it up over towards the halfway line, where it's the preserve of Rankin Costello.
There's two ways to approach the game now if you're Blackburn Rovers. Do you sit back and just hang on to this 4-1 lead and just cruise into the fifth round of the FA Cup, or do you actually go and enjoy yourselves for the remaining minutes of the game and maybe add to the goals that you've already got? Well, it certainly looks like it's going to be the latter.
Crisaino's come out and playing left wing back now, sends the ball down the left. Yassine Ansari gets the ball towards the edge of the penalty area. It's taken on by Telalovic. He gets down by the corner and sends the ball back towards Crisaino, who's crossing to the box. Actually, it was a really dangerous one, and the goalkeeper didn't know whether to come or not. They can't clear their lines at the moment, Wrexham, as Blackburn Rovers come steaming forward once again. It's picked up by Rankin Costello, who slaloms his way to the edge of the box, fires it into Sammy Smodic, who tried to just flick the ball up and round Ben Tozer, couldn't get on the end of his little flick, and goes through to the goalkeeper, who'll clear.
Well, it was like a little Dennis Bergkamp movie. You can remember that one at St James's Park, Arsenal against Newcastle.
Maybe not quite as the level of quality, I don't think.
No, I think the pass into him, it didn't help him either, Sam, on a couple of occasions, absolutely, yeah. Pace was too hard.
Here is Tronstadt back into Moran, who's put the ball out on the far side rather cheaply. If cricket's your thing, or you get up early. I've got a few mates who like to get up early and go to the gym or do stupid runs or whatever. But if you find yourself up at 3:30 in the morning, I know there's a lot of people that work nights, and this is definitely for you. And if you're a big cricket fan, we've got TalkSport 2 live coverage of the cricket in India. And after what was a brilliant win for England, a 28-run win for England at the weekend, we've got more live cricket for you on TalkSport 2 live this Friday, 3:30am. Daily content also available on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Great ball in by Mullin, where he's played it infield. It's collected by Jones, who shot from 20 yards out down to the goalkeeper's left. It's an easy save for Ainsley Pears, who moves across and grabs it. Just wonder whether or not he might have been better off shifting that forward onto Dolby and then looking for the return ball into Mullin.
Yeah, it was a little bit far out, Sam, wasn't it? I think it was probably on his weaker left foot as well. But he just got his head down and just wanted to get his strike away. No intent in it, really. And you're right, I think there was an extra pass to be made, maybe a little give and go, which would have made a better angle, a better opportunity for them. And I think that kind of sums up the second half, if I'm completely honest with you, Wrexham. I don't think they've really looked much of a threat as they did, certainly in that first 45 minutes.
Moran breaking down the centre, plays it into the, gets the ball into the right channel, tries to clip the ball centrally, and it goes onto the roof of the net because he double tapped that as he got to the back line. Hit his right-footed cross onto his left, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's petering out a little bit, and I think that's full credit to Blackburn. They've done what they've had to do. They've got that fourth and probably all-important goal where they can now enjoy the game until the end, the last 20 minutes of the game. And maybe Wrexham, I beg your pardon, they've got to come up with answers. And have they got the quality? I touched on Paul Mullin. He's not really had that service in this second 45 minutes. He's been chasing everything basically when that ball's went in behind, but he needs better quality from his midfield players, and I just don't quite think it's there now. They're running out of steam. Yes, they've made a few changes, but I do now start to think, Sam, that they've maybe got that one eye on Salford in the League 2 game next week.
You don't want to be presumptuous because the game's still ongoing and there's 17 minutes to go. But the way it looks at this moment in time as the ball is sent into the path of Chris Sane, who's just sort of bullied his way past Tunnicliffe and almost got on the end of a through ball. It's away by Okonkwo and over halfway. You don't want to be presumptuous, but it looks like it's going to be Newcastle coming here to Ewood Park in the not too distant future. And that will be a big game. It will be a good game as well for the FA Cup. I think Newcastle will look at this and think, John Dahl Thomason's team give up chances. They're pretty resolute at the back, Newcastle. They can see a path to the quarter-finals themselves, but I'm sure that Blackburn Rovers will be thinking the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Ball sent forward towards Telalovic on the edge of the D, and he almost got on the end of that through ball, which was played in quite beautifully actually by Ayari and was cleared away.
Yeah, they're still searching, aren't they, Blackburn? They're searching for that 5th goal just to basically see this tie out. They've enjoyed themselves tonight. Probably didn't enjoy the first 20 minutes of the game, but I think from that moment they've looked the more dominant side, they've showed better quality in that final third. Obviously stuck the ball in the back of the net 4 times, but I think John Dahl Thomason will be thrilled to pieces. Talked about and being under a little bit of pressure in the cup games this season, Sam. EFL and this
been brilliant.
17 goals in EFL, and they've got 9 goals so far in the FA Cup. I mean,
their cup competitions, he always talks about the cup competitions and says that how important they are, and certainly, they got knocked out by Chelsea in the end in the Carabao Cup. And it's going to take some stopping them, I think, in this competition. It will be a Premier League side if it's Newcastle next. Here's Smodic, 30 yards from goal, getting into a shooting position but electing to send it wide. Collected and sent on by Moran, in towards Sigurdsson, whose cross comes back to Moran. Then Smodic, chance for the hat-trick, blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box by Evans, sent back in by Smodic, and it comes back into the arms of the goalkeeper after a tame header.
Do you know, of the 3 opportunities that Smodic has had, Sam, he's got 2 goals. It's probably the best of the 3 because it's sitting up perfectly for him, and he must be full of confidence, scoring 5 goals in the FA Cup so far. I think he should do better with that. 21 goals this season, and I don't know, you might know this, Sam, I'm putting you on the spot, but has anybody ever got hat-trick in the FA Cup?
Oh, hat-trick. I'm sure it has happened, but I don't have it to hand. No.
Sorry.
Double hat-trick.
You know the answer to every question that everybody gives you. I just thought you might have just reeled that one off your tongue.
If only that was true, Mickey. If only that was true. Ball sent down to Telalovic on the left-hand side. He gets into the penalty area, tries to unleash a shot. It's blocked by the defender. And then almost sort of will weave themselves into a bit more trouble. James Jones gets into the right back position and gives it away. Ayari to the edge of the box, left for Smodic. Oh, he just couldn't take it in. And it's cleared away by Mendy out towards the near side, but they can't get hold of the ball, Wrexham. It's back with Tronstad, into Smodic, round the corner, back to Smodic again, whose first time effort opened his body up and tried to prod it goalwards, and it was well wide of the goal in the end. But it was another good move from Blackburn Rovers, who are just starting to take advantage of tired legs in the Wrexham ranks.
Yeah, they are. The movement from the Blackburn front line has been absolutely superb. The little give and goes, the little run around the corner, it's just that final little part, putting the ball in the back of the net. And it's actually fell to Smodic on 2 occasions, this time again on his right foot. He rushed this one a little bit. A lovely little give and go, a dummy over the ball, and Smodic has just got to hit the target. He opens his right foot up, but he opens it up too much and misses the target completely.
Ollie Palmer coming on up front, and Paul Mullin eventually is replaced. Jake Bickerstaff is the other change, and Sam Dolby coming off, so both the forwards being replaced. And now I think they definitely are deciding that it's a good idea to protect those 2.
Paul Mullin, this number 9, Ollie Palmer, replacing number 18, Sam Dolby, this number 27, Jake Bickerstaff.
Talksport 2 with 12 minutes remaining, and Wrexham find themselves 4-1 down in the FA Cup. The FA Cup draw, which is looking a little bit more there's a bit more clarity to it now, with Wrexham looking as if they're out of the picture. Newcastle not going to be the ones that go to the racecourse ground. It's going to be Blackburn, Newcastle, and the Alan Shearer Derby, I think that's called now.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Free kick.
Legend here, sorry Sam, legend here, winning the Premier League with Blackburn Rovers, and then what he achieved at Newcastle.
Well, it's going to be a Wrexham free kick over on the far side, which James McLean is going to toss in. The goal now will certainly pique our interest. McLean to take it, left-footed, swinging it towards the back edge of the penalty area. It's headed down and drops towards the edge of the box. Lee keeps it alive. He would have loved to have played Newcastle, wouldn't he? Mendy drives it into the penalty area. They're going to leave that and let that go behind for a goal kick, and that is exactly what it does. And it's a goal kick for Ainsley Pears away on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, we're into the final 10 minutes just about now of the game, and I think you can see some of these Wrexham players, their heads have dipped a little bit. They've come here, brilliant following, I have to say. Over 7,000 travelling down. It's been absolutely sensational atmosphere in the stadium, and they certainly played their part for 45 minutes. I just think the better quality is shone through from Blackburn Rovers from the Championship side in this second 45 minutes, and they're seeing the game out now, Sam. They know that they're going to be playing Newcastle. The hard work's done. The 4 goals that they've got, and you just hope that it brings a little bit more confidence back to the side.
Picked up on this near touch line by Telelevic, and it's into Smodic, who drives the ball straight from a difficult angle really at the goalkeeper, and it was a little bit ambitious, I think, from Sammy Smodic. I wouldn't be surprised if he is soon replaced. They are warming up Tom Aitchison on this near side, which might mean that Smodic ends up having a bit of a rest ahead of their game at the weekend against Queen's Park Rangers here. And they've been advertising tickets for that game. Doesn't get the sort of attendances that they had back in the Jack Walker era. It's still actually, 3 sides of the ground, very impressive actually here, but it's still that Riverside stand over on the far side, which remains a little bit dated, with the iron girders keeping up the roof. Actually, I remember that so clearly from the day they won the title. I don't know if you remember it. The day they won the
Man
title,
City, was it?
They were jumping up and down and doing like the conga in front of it, because there's quite a huge walkway between the first row and the side of the pitch. Blackburn play the ball out from the back, and it's elevated out towards the near side, collected by Hyam, who steers it into midfield. 9 minutes to go on Talk Sport 2. Later on, we've got the Women's Football Show with Leanne Sanderson from 10 o'clock. She's going to be joined in the studio by one of the highest cap lioness of all time, Farrah Williams, who came with us to France for the 2019 Women's World Cup. It was so hot, we couldn't sleep, so Farrah and I ended up eating pizza in the town square till 4 a.m. in the morning.
As you do.
Ball out towards the right hand side. That's on Talk Sport 2 at 10 o'clock tonight. I'm sure it'll be just as good, if not more informed conversation tonight with Leanne. Ball chested down, Wrexham trying to come forward, Bickerstaff trying to get on the end of a pass forward. It's then collected once again by Palmer, who steers it out towards the Wrexham left. They chop back in, and Barnett tries to deliver across into the box. It wasn't a bad cross at all, actually. Drifted in towards the edge of the penalty area, and actually with more attacking intent they may well have made more of it. There's going to be a change, and here it comes, and they're taking off Rankin Costello and bringing on Aitchison. And with 7.5 minutes remaining, Tom Aitchison gets the opportunity, the youngster, to come and play in the back line. He gets a high five from Sammy Smodic. And Blackburn have the ball deep inside their own territory.
Well, it's a nice change, isn't it? I think being able to take Rankin Costello off. I talked about the injuries he's had this season. Sam, he's just kind of grown back into hopefully getting back to 100% fit. He's not played too many games this season. Gives another youngster an opportunity, as they certainly did in the last round against Cambridge. I think it was a 15-year-old came on the pitch in Rory Finneran, who I think had to get permission from his parents and from the school to actually play in the game, which was in the build-up to the game was incredible.
Well, Tom Aitchison's only 17 years of age.
It's unbelievable. And I said about younger players being given an opportunity here. I think Jordan Thomason is not frightened to do that, as was Tony Mowbray. He give younger players the chance to play first team football, and said it's a great club to join actually if you're an up and coming young star. You know you're going to get your chance at Blackburn Rovers. I just wouldn't think, if I was a parent, of looking anywhere else.
I think that Tom Aitchison is so young that he's not allowed to wear a shirt with the club sponsor on it.
Yeah, you're completely right.
Because it's a vaping sponsor,
right,
isn't it?
it
Totally
is.
wicked.
Yeah,
And because he's 17, he's not allowed to wear it. So he's the only player on the outfield wearing a blue and white hard jersey, but no sponsor.
yeah, certainly something that got talked about with the younger players I just mentioned there before. Rory Finneran was exactly the same as well, and understandably only 15 years old, but they're sending out a message to the younger generation, and I think rightly so.
I haven't seen that since the 1987 FA Cup final, Coventry against Tottenham, when half the sponsors were being stapled onto the jerseys because I think the kit man or the kit supplier had sent kits with the wrong sponsor on it or something. Look at the 1987 FA Cup final. It was like absolutely ridiculous. The sponsorships, and Granada Bingo and Holston were the two sponsors of the Tottenham and Coventry shirts that day. Ball out on the left-hand side with Wrexham, moving towards the edge of the penalty area. Elliot Lee tries to funnel the ball into Ollie Palmer. He's not going to reach that, and it goes through the goalkeeper on the right-hand side. The Tottenham players didn't have a sponsor on some of them, didn't they? Six of the players didn't have a sponsor. Some of them had Holston, some of them didn't. I'm sure that the Granada Bingo ones as well were like stapled on as well at some stage. I might have invented that.
You probably haven't, Sam. They've made these changes now, Wrexham, haven't they? I mean, if you think about Jake Bickerstaff and Ollie Palmer, they've certainly got goals in them, but I think the service again has got to be better from those wide areas.
Well, they're so tired, aren't they? You can tell that. You can tell that they've run out of gas now, and they've been chasing shadows for a lot of the game because they've had so much of the possession. Blackburn Rovers, they've had 67% of it so far in the game, 17 shots, 7 on target. They've scored 4 goals. You know, credit to Wrexham, they've had 9 shots, and they've got on the score sheet here tonight. But they haven't really threatened since that goal, have they?
No. And I think that's been the problem, isn't it? You know, the service up to the front players when Dalby and Mullen were on the field. It wasn't really there in the second half, and I think you can say that. It's probably why they've had to make those changes to freshen it up.
A few players missing for them as well. Tom O'Connor, who's not available because of injury. Will Boyle suspended tonight.
Now, I think priority for them, Sam, albeit it's fantastic that they have a great run in the FA Cup. We know it's now going to come to an end. Is promotion, an automatic promotion if they can probably get it. I talked about the sides who are up there: Notts County, Mansfield, Stockport. They're flying this season, which is great for the area around here. It's been a long time since they found themselves in League One. Still got a lot of work to do, I have to say, and this Wrexham side are not going to go away. You can understand why they cause so many sides in League Two a real threat.
Manchester United have released a statement in the last few minutes in regards to Marcus Rashford, who you may have seen missed training on Friday. Didn't go to Newport with the team because he was, inverted commas, ill. He missed training on Friday after being pictured in a Belfast nightclub the night before, and they have released a statement over this saying Marcus has taken responsibility for his actions. It's been dealt with as an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed.
There seems to be more happening off the field than on the field for Manchester United, certainly this season. Marcus himself has had disciplinary action by turning up late for a meeting. I think that was the start of the problem for him this season, Sam, isn't it? But I think as an ex-player and in reading the stories over the last couple of days of where Marcus has been, I just don't think you can get away with things like that in this day and age, and rightly so, disciplined for it. We've seen with certain individual players who didn't want to apologise to the club and the manager and probably the rest of his playing staff. It looks like Marcus has certainly done the opposite. It might take a couple of weeks before you see him back in a Manchester United shirt, but he's certainly paying the penalty for it.
Well, I can imagine if you're Jadon Sancho, you're asking the question, how on earth am I getting told off for turning up late every now and again? And yet Marcus Rashford is pictured in a Belfast nightclub. There have been other incidents that I'm sure. I mean, it's not an isolated case, is it?
No.
Let's be honest. And yet, this is an internal disciplinary matter that is now closed. Well, we shall see. Marcus Rashford's a brilliant player. I want him to be a success. I do not want him to get himself into a situation where he does not live up to his potential, because he's brilliant. Here come Blackburn, edge of the penalty area. Chance for Smodic to complete his hat-trick right on the edge of the box, and it's straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. We're in the 89th minute of the game, and it's still Blackburn Rovers in front. They lead by 4 goals to 1, and they play really well in the game, applied themselves well. They've used their squad towards the end of the game as well to ensure that they don't overuse their more aggressive players. But Smodic has stayed on because he believes there's a hat-trick in it for him. And now they've picked the ball up on the right-hand side. It's fed into Telalovic, who sends it back wide towards the right. And can there be a cross here? Telalovic has gone on, trying to steer it back to Smodic, who's on the penalty spot, but it's poked away by Jordan Tunnicliffe and cleared up towards the halfway line for Wrexham, and relative safety as we go into the final 15 seconds of the game. It'll be a good game against Newcastle United here. I think it'll be an intense contest. There'll be, a match which will be fiercely fought.
Well, I hope it's better than the third round for Newcastle against my old club Sunderland. Hopefully Blackburn can put up a better fight than what my side did. And when you look at the quality that Blackburn have got, they certainly play with the intensity they have done in this game. It will make it difficult for Newcastle with the quality that they've got in their team. It's already how want to take it very seriously, FA Cup this season. Looks like they're going to struggle to finish in that top 4, so probably turns out to be priority number 1 for them, Sam.
The player of the match has just been announced. It's Scott Wharton. As good as Scott Wharton has been, and the Blackburn defence have been very good. If I was Sammy Smodic, I might be a little bit annoyed about that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one of the criticisms you give to Smodic, I mean, he's got his 2 goals, but he's had 4 big opportunities in the second half, and he's not been able to put the ball in the back of the net. I talked about that hat-trick. Well, he's doing his damnedest, isn't he, to not get that 3rd goal tonight. And when you think about the 21 goals he's got this season, he's not going to get a better opportunity.
Well, the FA Cup's famous giant killers, the Red Dragons of Wrexham, are slayed by Championship Blackburn, who kill off Wrexham's hopes of reaching the 5th round for the first time since 1997, and the chance to welcome Premier League opposition to the racecourse. Instead, it will be a reunion between John Dahl Thomaston and his former club Newcastle United for a place in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. They went 1-0 down to Wrexham, Andy Cannon scoring the opener after 19 minutes. But Smodic scored twice, Gallagher got on the score sheet before half-time, and that gave them a healthy lead that was extended after the break by Sondre Tronstad, who finished off the encounter just before the hour mark. And as a result, it's Blackburn Rovers who go through to round 5. They've beaten Wrexham by 4 goals to 1.